What's up, guys? Think I am live. I got too many windows open. Hope you guys enjoying your Wednesday night live stream with me and trying to do Wednesday consistently. I think last week I did Thursday. It didn't go too well. So we're gonna try to stick with Wednesday. I think, Hump Wednesday. A little bit more chill and yeah, a little bit more excited to do Wednesday. So we had a bump in live stream yesterday. Had to see my buddy C Don talking about how to run a successful Jitsu business, which is important for, I think it's important for people, instructors that have schools right now and, people, guys in the future that want to have schools, guys competing, if you're a competitor, like what steps to take to open up your own academy. And it's very important because it's easy to mess up your business, your jiu-jitsu business. So yeah, we got into that. And today, a little bit different. We're going to talk about tips and advice starting BJJ. So, people starting out, first couple of months starting jiu-jitsu, the do's and don'ts, and some good advice that I wish I knew when I started. I don't think there was our BJJ when I first started. We had MMA.tv, NHB Gear, Sure Dog. So we had some forums back in the day. I don't know who's on there now. And so, yeah, we're just going to talk about tips and advice. I got some tips that I kind of saw from a Reddit post pretty recently. I'm going to go through and then I'll try to bring maybe a few people on to talk about some tips and advice for you guys out there. So I'll just put that link in the chat room. And so you guys can start getting your Zoom ready. And where is that link at? Yeah, we'll get that going. My goal is to get somebody from Australia on here. That's been the goal. I don't know what time it is in Australia, but that's been my goal with this live stream. Get somebody in Australia to join on the Zoom call. So yeah, there's the Zoom link. And I'm not gonna take any calls just yet, but you can start just getting that stuff ready. And no cool presentation today. I'm just gonna read off my notes. I gotta read off my notes. We gotta go old school today. So again, I'm reading off Reddit posts, and so the first bullet point they had listed out was you're likely going to be very anxious before your first class, and that's okay. So yeah, anxious. You're gonna be anxious, starting out. You're not gonna know what to do. If you've never done any martial arts before, you're not gonna know what to do. You're not gonna know how to tie your belt. You're not gonna know how to line up. You're not gonna know how to do the warm-up drills, how to shrimp, how to do the forward roll, backwards roll. You can go online now and learn a little bit of that stuff, but if you've never practiced it, it's going to be different. And you're just going to be anxious going into that new environment, right? It's just going to be a little scary. You got to wear a gi, or maybe it might be a no gi school. So that's going to be a little different. And that's pretty natural. I remember being kind of nervous my first time. And I think my dad took me when I first started jiu-jitsu. He took me to kind of make sure the place was okay. And he watched like the first class. And yeah, you shouldn't have any expectations on your performance. I've said this multiple times before. As an instructor, I got no expectations for a new white belt. Hey, 0 expectations. You can't disappoint me at all. I've been too disappointed over the years. You can't disappoint me anymore than I've already experienced. So yeah, you're gonna be anxious the first few times. Heck, you're gonna be anxious even when you've been training for a long time. You're gonna be anxious when you go train at a different academy for like an open mat, or you're gonna be anxious when you roll with someone new for the first time, or a higher level person or a higher belt. You're gonna be anxious. So yeah, some other good points they made were, outside of not having expectations, or to, nobody's going to expect you to be fit. Nobody's going to expect you to be good. And typically people are going to be nice. They're going to be nice to you. They're going to be usually pretty nice to white belts because we see, hey, the white belt, new guy trying the class. We want more training partners, so we're going to be nice to you. And then of course, the instructors probably generally the instructor will. I can't say generally, but I would usually give the white belt a little bit more attention, especially a new person. I mean, obviously they're going to need it because they won't know as much. Legendary 93 says, appreciate the consistent content. I'm on the UK, so I usually miss the streams. Yeah, no worries, man. I know can't hit everybody. I used to live in Sweden, so like we had to get the proper timing for posts. So like if I wanted to post it on Instagram or YouTube or something, like there was like certain times where I knew I could post, and then other times I was like, I'm gonna miss all of the West Coast and East Coast in America. And then it's kind of rough with the time zones, but we just, hey, thanks for your support now, man. And you can always watch these streams over. So yeah, you gotta be anxious first, definitely the first class, probably the first few classes, first month, first 6 months, until you feel more comfortable. You're gonna be anxious. The number 2 point they made was that if you're in a big city, it's gonna be expensive. So we talked a little bit about pricing your jiu-jitsu academy with C yesterday. Realistically, if you're in a major city, you're going to be paying upwards of $200 a month for training. If you're in New York, you're in New Jersey, you're in California, 200 easy, 250, maybe even 300. It's going to be a little bit more expensive. And then, the other cities, maybe a little bit less expensive, but, man, you're going to be paying like $150 in most major cities outside of California and New York. And then, outside of those major cities, you're not getting you're not getting away with training for less than $100 per month in America. And that's going to be different in different countries, in Germany, in Sweden, some of these other countries, maybe even UK, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. It might be $50 a month. It might be $60 a month. It might be free, depending on your age. So prepare yourself for the pricing. And so when you first start, you're going to have to pay usually your membership. So, okay, you're paying $150 a month. You're also going to need a new uniform. So say you buy one new uniform, $150 for that one uniform, you pay $300 just to get started. And that's not taking account, you might need multiple gis. You might need accessories like belt, rash guards, tape, braces, mouthpiece. So jiu-jitsu can be a little expensive. There are some cheaper alternatives, but a lot of times the schools will make you buy their gear, so you can't really avoid that half the time. So just be mindful if you're kind of broke. It might be rough. You might have to work out some type of deal or sign some type of longer contract to be able to train, or you might just have to find like a cheaper solution. So when I first started martial arts, I started in Taekwondo, and it was just closer to me, and it was also cheaper. And so kind of demonstrated to my family that I was into this thing. And then that allowed me to go to like a more expensive jiu-jitsu academy. Some alternatives, sorry guys, I'm sounding a little terrible today. Some alternatives are you could go to a judo academy, judo gym. Usually those are community, like ran by like a club, like more of a club versus a business. So those are a little bit cheaper. You might be able to find a wrestling academy nearby. That might be a little bit cheaper option as well. Yeah, it can be expensive. The third point they had was that this is really important. Every new person I have to talk to you about this is that you don't need to be fit to start BJJ. And a lot of people are like, hey, I need to get in shape to do training. I need to get in shape to go to the training. But you get in shape by doing the training. So go train. So a lot of people use that as like an excuse, but the best way to get in shape is to go and train. And you're going to find that you're going to burn, especially if you're out of weight or you're not in condition, Of course, you're going to be gassing out the first class, first month, first 2 months. But it's going to get easier the more you do the movements. And man, you're going to be burning so much energy just from using your brain, learning the techniques to rolling and drilling. You're going to be burning more calories than you probably ever burned in your whole life. You're definitely going to be using muscles that you never used before. So just getting into the academy, and that's going to help you a lot. And then afterwards, hey, I want to get stronger. I want to do this or that. You can start adding stuff. But you need a base level of fitness to get in it. You don't need a base. I'm saying you want to develop the base level of fitness, but you don't need to have that base level of fitness to start. Okay. And cardio, that'll come up in no time, guys. You just start doing the exercises, running around the mat, the running warm up that everybody hates. That will build your cardio, your conditioning, and eventually you can start training. You start rolling. 5 minutes is going to kill you. And eventually you can do the 5-minute roll. Now you start doing multiples of 5 minutes, multiple rounds of 5 minutes. And then you find yourself, you can do longer. The number 4 point they made was that weight and strength will play a role. And that one, let's see, we got some guys on here. Paul Phoenix says, I was nervous about live rolls for about 2 months. Yeah, I mean, usually you don't know what to expect. Usually when it's time to roll, like, you don't understand what roll means. It's just like, oh, what do I do now? I don't know any techniques. So you're just kind of, there's 2 white belts looking at each other and you're like, I don't know what to do. So yeah, you're going to be a little nervous, but I feel like wrestling and grappling is such a natural, I feel like it is a natural art. It is a natural movement. So I have been disproven on this one before, where people are like, oh, I don't know what to do. But yeah, you get used to it after a while. Your fight or flight response kicks in, and then you start doing something. Sometimes people just lay there. Usually people start fighting. So it's kind of cool as an instructor. I get to see people's first times a lot, and then it's such a mixed bag of like the reactions people have. Sometimes they're like deer in the headlights. Other times it's like they're a maniac and they're just like, kill. They're just too wild. Claudia Capistrano says, do you recommend working out in the morning or night? Depends on your schedule. Work out when you can. If you have trouble falling asleep at night, probably work out in the mornings. That 6 a.m., 7 a.m. crew, that's probably the best time to get that training in. And then you have the rest of your day to, work and focus on family. Night crew is good too. Usually night crew is going to be the younger crowd. Morning crowd, usually the older crowd. So, just get in where you can fit in, man. We got Charles Caldill. I know I messed that up. He says, I am a 3-stripe white belt. Any advice, my brother, to advance faster? My best advice is slow down. A lot of times white belts, I was talking to some white belts the other day. I was like, hey, just slow down. You guys going too fast. They were drilling the moves and they were going too fast through the moves. And so they weren't actually doing the move really well. So I was like, hey, just take your time. It's okay. Slow down, kind of go through all the details step by step, while you're drilling the move and working the techniques. And then when you're rolling, okay, now you can add more speed, but I think just slow down a little bit. Timothy Ortel says, and others are lazy turtles like me. Yeah, that's fine too. That could be your game. Eduardo Tellez. I'm a big proponent of developing more of an attacking style. I think jiu-jitsu is about submissions, positions, and then submissions. But you can change that just by working on it. So we talked about you don't need to be fit to start jiu-jitsu. Yeah, just get in the door. Next, we were talking about weight and strength. Do play a role. I don't know how I feel about this one. Jiu-jitsu is about technique at the end of the day. I don't care how big you are, how small you are, how skinny you are, how built you are. I want to see good technique. And that's going to That's why you go. I mean, obviously people come to train a lot, but you should also be learning techniques and utilizing techniques, not just rolling and fighting hard all the time. Um, your weight and strength, man. Jiu-jitsu, you can adapt jiu-jitsu to whatever style you have. I can look at the world championships that's happening this weekend, and there's a body type for everybody, and there's a strength level for everybody. So, I mean, usually all those guys are pretty strong, but I just feel like you just come in with what you got, and then we can adapt to you. The number 5 point was that the people at your gym matter just as much as the instructors. So pick carefully. And this is important. You want to have good training partners. You want to trust people, the people that you're training with. You want to trust them to not injure you and to be just good training partners, good people. Hopefully, I know sometimes you got to just train wherever you can train at. So, uh, try to make sure that you fit in with the crowd a little bit. And I mean, if you're kind of weird, don't be mad if people aren't like super friendly to you. You can be kind of nice to people. But typically, people are going to be pretty open with white belts. They're going to be like, hey, white belt, come, let me use you and drill with you. And oh, let me help you. I see you struggling over there. So usually they're people are pretty nice to white belts, new people starting out. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that one, because if you never trained before, like how you don't know what the environment to look for. You might be at like a cult or a McDojo. You don't know. Um, I would say trust your instinct, but sometimes I've had people kind of like be really suspicious of me in the training environment sometimes, and they were like, it was kind of unfounded sometimes. So I don't know how to take that one too much, because usually if you're starting out, you don't really know what anything is. You don't know who the people are. You don't know what to look out for. You don't know what the red flags are. You don't know what the green flags are. You're just kind of there. Something C said from yesterday's live stream was that, try different academies before you sign up for the membership. Try different academies. So try them out and see if you like them. See if, you see yourself training there. Make sure it's convenient for you to train there. It's close enough for you to travel to. And that's basically it. Let's see. Charles Caldwell says, thank you for your advice, sir. Yeah, no problem, man. I kind of like the live streams because I can actually interact with you guys a little bit better than through the comment section of a video. Timothy Oratel says, befriend the purple belts. Yeah, I say adopt the white belt, but yeah, just be nice to the upper belts. I mean, don't be super nice, but just be a little friendly. Don't be an asshole. Like I said earlier, the higher belts usually are gonna be nice and try to help you out. They see you struggling. So be open to getting their feedback, Let's see how my Zoom's looking. I don't think I've got anybody in there. So guys, remember, we've got the Zoom in there. I'm not gonna try to force anybody in there. If you guys want to join in and talk about some tips and stuff, I'll try to get your Zoom ready, and I'll maybe do 1 or 2 talks if I can get to that. Let's see. Next point, number 6, was get a mouth guard ASAP. So I used to wear a mouth guard. I need to. I just got after I get my teeth fixed again. I got a good tip and another tip here. But yeah, if you get a nice mouth guard, I think, yeah, the only issue with the mouth guard is that it's hard to keep that thing clean. So I see people drop their mouth guard on the floor and then put it back in their mouth. I'm like, bro, so that is one issue. And also it might be harder to breathe if you're not used to breathing through your nose. It might be harder to breathe with that mouthpiece initially. So, I mean, if you want to avoid a lot of money to the dentist, get a mouthpiece, but try to keep that thing clean. Okay. And don't put your mouthpiece in with all the spit and then try to shake my hand. Okay. No. Oh man, don't do that, man. So mouth guard. Number 7, take things slow. So I said that. I'll keep saying that forever. And he says that I wish someone had told me this. Even though I sucked, I love the sport and stayed going 5 times a week. and very soon injuries kicked in. Jiu-jitsu is very addictive. When you first start, you're gonna want to do it too much. You get in, I guess, the endorphins or whatever that feel good hormone is starts kicking in, and so you start overtraining. So just go slow. Start training once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. Slowly build up to training more, because you need to adapt your body, get your body ready for the movements before you go hard. Because you might be able to go hard once, but then like if you break your body down, you can't go hard again. And yeah, just take things slow, man. Enjoy the process. Most people aren't competitors; they're just hobbyists. I know you want to get better, but man, just take it easy. No rush, man. Enjoy yourself. So we talked about taking things slow. Start training 1, 2, 3 times a week. Build yourself up to doing more. Number 8 was you'll likely have no idea what to do for a while, especially during your first few classes, and that's okay. Yeah, it can be rough. Hopefully, the school you train at has a beginner's class to help you learn those fundamental movements. Typically, that's the case. But some newer schools, they usually don't have the time or the resources to have that beginner's class. So the whole class is put together. And so you might be a white belt learning how to do barambolos and spider guard and whatever, God knows what else. So that can be rough. Pair up with the higher belt. They're going to help you, walk you through the moves. You're not going to remember the moves, but that's okay. They're going to keep reminding you of the techniques, and you have to, like I said, you have to adapt. Your body has to adapt to the training, and also your brain has to adapt to the training. So until things look kind of similar, like, okay, I grab the collar, okay, I know how to grab the collar, okay, I move my body this way, okay, until things start to click for you, it's going to be like a brain fog. You're going to see a technique, forget it 5 seconds, and then it's just going to be rough. So something I like to do is just film yourself doing the techniques. That's a great resource. Get your camera, boom, prop it up on something, or get a little tripod or something. Film yourself doing the moves. Ask your instructor first to film the moves, or you can maybe film the instructor or film yourself, and in that way you have that record. So that's the easy way to kind of remember the moves, and then try to drill the moves as much as possible. I see so many guys do a move 2 times. That's not enough time to build up the muscle memory. So try to develop that, guys. The more repetitions of a technique you do, the better it's going to be for you to remember, help you remember. Okay. So we said slow down, and you're not going to remember. Yeah, you're not going to remember what you're doing. Sometimes I don't remember what I'm doing. I just kind of have to use logic to kind of figure out the move, especially if I zoned out. The instructor's kind of boring. I zone out. Oh, I got to figure out the move. You can always always ask for the instructor to show the move again. Okay. Again, until you get it. Okay. Something else you can do, he mentioned really well, is just focus on your positions. So positions are usually a little bit easier to understand than versus techniques. So okay, when you first start, okay, you learn mount, side mount, back. Focus on getting to those positions, and then don't worry about really too much more. Like, just get to that position, and then eventually the technique will come to get you there. Just get to that position, hold that position. And I mean, honestly, that's why when I'm teaching white belts, they're doing close guard for the probably 6 months to a year. Just close guard. So when they come in, they know, all right, I got to do close guard every day. They come in, close guard. They know what to expect, and then they can build experience that way. I had some questions on here. Charles Timothy Oratel says, befriend the purple belt. Yeah. And then he also said, drill slow, fail fast. Drill slow, fail fast. Yeah. So, take your time in drilling, get tapped out a lot. It'll come. And now you guys have so many resources. You have live streaming. You can talk to black belt instructors through live stream and ask them questions. You have instructionals, you have YouTube videos, you have Instagram videos, you have TikTok videos. so many resources. Before, I used to have to get a DVD. There wasn't really a lot of jiu-jitsu techniques on YouTube or anything. I had to borrow a DVD from my friend that burned, some DVDs of instructionals or maybe the world championships. And then that was the way we kind of learned. And then, after you finish the DVD, you go, hey man, I watched this one. Can I see the next one? Okay, I haven't seen that one. So we would just trade DVDs. Number 9 was you'll suck at first and it may take a while to feel like you're progressing, and that's to be expected. A lot of people are too hard on themselves. They come in first day, they're like, oh, I should be better. I've had lower belts that are like upset they weren't beating me in training, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? So yeah, a lot of people expect themselves to be really good starting out. I mean, that might be the case if you're really athletic and got super amazing body awareness, or you did like some type of sport or gymnastics or something for a long time. Otherwise, you're going to be sucking for a good bit, a good year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. We don't know how you won't know how good you are until you step on the mat, right? So just go train and take your butt kickings like everybody else, and you're gonna get tapped out. So I think especially as white belt, just tap out early. Don't fight nothing too hard. Just tap out. Yeah. You're a white belt. Nobody cares how tough you are. Let's see. The next point was there's no shame in caring about promotions. This one is a debate. Promotions. I'm old school, guys. Yeah, I'm old school, man. Just train. Get to the point where you're at the belt level. You have the technique of that belt level. That's the most important thing. You could be a white belt that gets a blue belt and then you still suck, bro. You're gonna be the blue belt that sucks now. So yeah, just take your time, man. Take your time, train, enjoy the process. I think so many people get caught up in stripes, so many people get caught up in belts, and I think honestly, man, I think those people don't make it, man. They don't make it, or if they do make it a black belt, they suck. So I know it sounds hard to take, but I'd rather you guys be at a lower belt and be good at that belt than to be at a higher belt and then be just kind of trash at that belt. And I know every school is different. I know what I'm saying might be harsh to some people. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. You can put a dislike, put that thumbs down on this video if they still got it. I don't really care. But yeah, I feel like people put too much time and energy in this belt stuff, man. I know some people were super motivated by the belts, but man, just if someone comes up to me and they're like, man, I should be a blue belt, I should get a stripe. In my head, I'm like, man, you don't deserve that stripe, man. You don't need that stripe. It ain't gonna help you. And I mean, it's good to see your progress, but your progress should be how you're rolling on the mats. How you're training. That should be your progress. Timothy Ortel says, and then collegiate wrestlers sign up. Yeah, I mean, that goes both ways typically. Well, some jiu-jitsu guys are kind of uncoordinated, but there are a lot of jiu-jitsu guys with good grappling sense, and then they're able to pick up wrestling really well. They're also able to pick up judo very well. It's not always the case. Some jiu-jitsu guys are just kind of uncoordinated. I don't know why, but they're uncoordinated, but they're just super good at jiu-jitsu. But I mean, if you're good at sports, usually the movements aren't too different usually. So usually you're going to be pretty good. Timothy Ortel says 6 months to promotion time. Yeah, I don't go based off any promotion schedule or time schedule. I go based off your technique. Do you roll like a blue belt? Do you compete? If you're a white belt, are you rolling at a blue belt level? When you are you competing? When you compete at white belt, are you using good technique and holding your own out there? Those are kind of the basics. And then it's up to your instructor, man. If your instructor thinks you're ready, you're ready. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed in some instructors out there. They just kind of It makes me ashamed to be doing jiu-jitsu. Like I see them promoting people and I'm like, you sold out, man. You sold out. But I know they gotta make their money somehow. So if they just give belts out, which is fine. They do that. Timothy says, oh, for sure. Just saying that we shouldn't expect to show up and do well. Yeah. Yeah, don't. I mean, if you can show up and do well, awesome, but don't expect it. Just go train, you know. And if they ask for promotions, yeah, you ask for, or if you ask if you ask for promotions, yeah, in my head, I'm like, that guy doesn't need a promotion. Let's see. Yeah, it must have been a blue belt or white belt that made this post on Reddit. He said, don't. It's no shame in caring about promotions. I mean, obviously you want to get promoted, but like, bro, go train. Instead of making this long post on Reddit, go train. Let's see. He said number 11 was the best way to progress is to ask for advice and feedback. Yeah, I mean, yeah, ask for advice. Hey, how can I do this move better? Or hey, was that choke on? Or hey, let me try something on you, you know. Very easy, man. Just ask for the feedback, especially when you roll with higher belts. You're a new guy and you're training with higher belts. Ask them, hey, what can I improve on? That might be kind of general. Ask more specific things like, hey, what was I doing in my guard that didn't look well, or how are you able to pass my guard so well? You know, stuff like that. Um, I don't know. You guys got all these resources nowadays. You guys got 50 million resources. Um, you got, I don't know. You guys figure that out. Let's see if we got anybody on the Zoom. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna open up the Zoom line right now, guys. I got about 10 minutes. If anybody wants to talk about any tips and advice for other people starting jiu-jitsu, that's the time to jump on. If not, that's fine. I'm gonna super chill mood today, so we'll probably end this at exactly at about 15, a little bit less than 15 minutes from now. Timothy says lowly white belt that knows his place. You know, white belts are really important. You know, they're the lifeblood of a school. So when I'm looking at like a healthy school, I want to see a lot of white belts training. And you know, that means people are coming in the door and signing up, right? If it's just all higher belts, about 5 black belts and no other belts, all right, that's awesome, good training, but that school ain't gonna do well. So yeah, that was kind of the from that Reddit post I was kind of reading off of. Um, my tips and advice usually pretty simple. Show up. Um, you know, don't be too hard on yourselves. Slow down. Slow down when you're looking at the moves, when you're performing the technique. Slow down. Go step by step by step. That kind of reminds me of doing math homework. You know, your teachers would tell you, hey, show your work. Same thing in jiu-jitsu. When I come around, I'm looking at the techniques. I want to see you doing the move by move by move. I don't want to see a blur. It's like, oh, I did it, done. No, I want to see the technique. Okay, slow. And then you start adding speed. And some other advice. You know, don't be too hard on yourselves. People come in, they think they're going to be Lucas Lepre, Marcelo Garcia, Gordon Ryan, whoever the top guy is. They think they're going to come in and be rolling like that guy, but that ain't going to happen, man. You're going to be rolling like a scrub for at least the first couple of months, and that's okay. You know, your white belt. White belt is the first belt. It's just that clean slate. Just go in, learn as much as you can, try as much as you can, and there's no expectations on you. You know, white belt, it's kind of a free belt. When I say free, I mean freeing. Like, it's kind of free. There's no expectations of you to do well. You know, if you get tapped out, nobody cares. Yeah, you just white belt, you just started, nobody cares. Some other advice for you guys. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I usually say the same stuff to white belts. I guess, you know, to help kind of white belts to acclimate to jiu-jitsu. I think for instructors to have more of an organized curriculum, that helps a lot. Maybe post some techniques the night before or the day after of what you did in class will help. Maybe stay on a topic for maybe multiple weeks. I mentioned earlier, I show closed guard. When I teach white belts, they're learning closed guard for about 6 months to a year. All right, guys, closed guard. You guys ready? You guys know closed guard? Okay, let's go over closed guard again. And just build confidence in one position. I think that's going to help. And then start adding other positions. I think if you're going to a school and they're showing 5 different positions, they're showing a different position every day, man, you ain't going to get good very quickly. One thing I see the biggest schools doing, they do a lot of drilling. So AOJ, Autos, they do a lot of the same kind of movement skills. So, you take someone day one, they learn the same moves over and over and over. And then they just, get better at those moves. And the movement skills correlate, they translate to the grappling skills. So they might do like a movement skill that simulates like how to pass a guard. And then they do that, the actual technique of how to pass the guard. And so I think that helps a lot. Tim Planet has a very organized warm-up where they have, I forget how it's organized, but it's like they know what to do on day 1, day 2, day 3. They know exactly what to do. And they learn by learning the warm-ups, they learn how the Tim Planet style essentially. Again, guys, got the Zoom link open. If you guys want to join in, I got like 7 minutes. So if maybe one person wants to join in. I know nobody wants to talk. Everybody's too scared. That's fine. Timothy Oratel says 6 months, 5 to 6 days a week, 35-ish pounds down. Yeah, man. I mean, once you build your metabolism up, you're training, 5-6 days a week. That's a lot, but you're building your metabolism up, and then if you say, I don't know what your weight goals are, but sharpen up your diet, man, you're gonna be golden. Add a little bit of conditioning outside the gym, you're gonna be gold, man. Z says, should I start BJJ after wrestling or should I do it after high school? It depends completely on you. If you love wrestling and, high school is probably the last time, unless you're super serious about wrestling and you want to do it in college, high school is probably going to be the last time that you're going to get that experience, get to wear your Leatherman jacket and get to be on that team, that wrestling team. If that's what you love, and man, this is that experience that you're going to cherish your whole life. Okay, do wrestling. Jiu-jitsu will always be there afterwards, man. It ain't going nowhere. And also wrestling in high school is free pretty much, right? I guess, I don't know if you have to buy your singlet or your shoes or whatever, but it's going to be cheaper than that $150 to $200 jiu-jitsu payment. So, you could do jiu-jitsu in your off seasons, during off seasons of wrestling. It depends solely on yourself. If you love jiu-jitsu and you're like, man, should I wrestle or do jiu-jitsu? I say do jiu-jitsu, but at least wrestling has scholarship options. Jiu-jitsu, you don't have too many scholarship options. Unless you want to go AOJ or somewhere, they scout you. Timothy Ortel says, yep, once fasted cardio and the good diet really starts, it'll fall off. Yeah, man. It takes time. It's easy to get out of shape. It's only been a handful of times where I was like, man, I'm in good shape. Ooh, boom, looking good. And then it takes a few days for me to get out of shape. So it just takes a lot of discipline to stay in shape, just you just gotta stay consistent. I don't know. I think for me, I like being healthy. It's just easier to stay. It's easier to eat healthy and train. And then I notice a difference when I eat bad. When I eat bad, like, man, my cardio is like, it's kind of gone. And so, yeah, just stay consistent. Z says, all right, cool. Thanks, bro. Yeah. Do what you want to do, man. It's your life, man. Do what you want to do. And let's see, I got about 5 minutes. If anybody wants to jump on the Zoom, I don't want to push it too hard. I think I pushed it too hard the last time. So if you guys want to talk, get some tips. If not, I think we covered a lot of good tips for people out there. I'm trying to think of something. Cut your nails, bro. Cut your nails. I forget that too. Make sure you cut your nails so you don't be a Wolverine out there. Wash your gis, wash your belt, wash your rash guards, take baths, general stuff. General stuff, man. Take care of yourself, take care of your hygiene. Paul Phoenix says wrestling plus BJJ equals Stone Cold Killer. Yeah. Even judo, man. If you want to do wrestling and judo, or wrestling or judo and BJJ, you can't go wrong, man, with the grappling art forms. They keep you honest. Timothy Ortel says went from 170 to my highest of 255. Yeah. Yeah, you can slow and steady, man. Slow and steady. Also building muscle, adding muscle on your frame is going to help you burn some fat too. So don't forget about that. So maybe you might have you're training 5 to 6 days a week. I don't know if you're doing strength training, but you might be able to cut back to maybe 3 or 4 times a week jiu-jitsu, and then add maybe 1 or 2 times a week of some weight training too to help you with that metabolism. Yeah, no magic bullet, man. If I had a pill, if I had a pill to make people good at jiu-jitsu, I don't think I would make any money still, but yeah, man, just enjoy the process, man. You're only going to be a white belt once. You're only going to get your butt kicked so many times like that once. So just enjoy the butt kicking and, laugh it off and keep training. I guess my other advice, try to compete early. That's a great way to level up, just by competing, because it prepares you. It not only kind of gets you on a better diet, but also pushes your conditioning to like optimum level. And yeah, it'll get you some good experience. You get that adrenaline rush. You're fighting someone you don't know. That's your belt level, your skill level, your weight class, your age group. I think that's a underutilized tool. Open mats. Go to open mats at other schools. Roll some different people. That's gonna help you. And I guess my biggest tip and advice is just have fun, man. Enjoy jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a fun sport. It's a fun hobby. It's a fun martial art. So just enjoy it. Go out there, have fun. And don't take everything so seriously. All right, guys. I think that's it for this live stream. So again, tips and advice for starting BJJ. We went over a lot of tips and advice. Hope this helps you guys. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you have a great Wednesday. I'm going to try to keep with Wednesday night live streams. I'm trying to get more people on the Zoom call, but it's been really rough. So we got to work on that, guys. I think that's a great asset for you guys to hear people like yourself talk about, whatever topic we're on. So I'm going to try to do a better job of getting people on here, and it's a little rough. You guys don't want to interact. So we'll try. That's it, guys. I'm tired. I'm going to tap out. Hope you guys enjoy your Wednesday, your hump day. And that's it, guys. Peace out. Peace, peace, peace. I don't know if I was getting on. I'm like, hey, man.